guys, one day me and my friends, we had a litty situation, right? So we come from out the hotel room and we go to Starbucks. The line is long at Starbucks, okay? It's long as heck. It's just long for no reason. So I'm cracking jokes about the line. I'm cracking jokes about people that's coming in and out. And when we finally get up there, I'm still cracking jokes and everybody at the register is laughing. And all of a sudden, Miss Jackie comes out. She see that I'm cracking jokes. I got customers laughing. She offered me a job like that on the spot. Now, if y'all remember that story time, I did that story time on Instagram on my main account. But we're going to get to the points of what Bobby was actually really doing that was red flags that I should have been have caught and just never caught. So boom, Miss Jackie comes up to me and she like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And I come out the line. My friend's looking, so I don't know what's happening. I'm still drunk from last night, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, what's wrong? She like, you want a job? I'm like, a job where? A job here? She like, yeah. I'm like, well, I don't know how to, I don't know how to do coffees. You know what I'm saying? I don't even drink coffee, let alone know how to make coffee. So she was like, I like your personality. She was like, I think that you're a perfect fit for the job. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll try it out, not thinking of it. I didn't even have faith in myself to think that I could make coffee. So boom, she like, well, come tomorrow and we'll interview you. I said, okay, sounds good. So I comes the next day, right? So she interviews me and she like, have you ever worked before this, that? Just getting to know me, right? So boom, she sends Bobby. She sends Bobby over there, right? Now, this is the first incident where I should have had caught the red flag, but I didn't. So Bobby sits in front of me and he looks and he like, yeah, Miss Jackie told me to come talk to you. He like, I'm the supervisor. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? So I shook his hand. Now, he was a feminine guy, right? He was a feminine boy. He had long curly hair, probably a little bit more browner than me. He had brown eyes. He was about 5'8", something like that. Not as stocky, but he had a little decent weight, enough for a 5'8", a little decent weight for him. And you know what I'm saying? And he always was clean. You know what I'm saying? So I'm already knowing like he was probably like one of the ones that like to talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? You could just tell how the way his delivery. So he like, okay, have you ever worked for a coffee shop before? I'm like, nah. He like, well, I'll be training you if you do happen to get the job. So he looking at my application, then he looks at me. He like, I like your name. I'm like, thank you. He like, it's something about your cheekbones. He like, you really like a boy. He like, are you a girl? Like, so he started questioning me right there, like dead smack in the interview. So I'm like, well, if I get hired, I'll let you guys know like what's going on. He like, yeah, because it's just something about your face. You don't look like no girl, right? So as he talking to me and just letting me know like, can you do mornings, this and that? Now that was the first red flag. I should have peeped game. But he went over there. He talked to Miss Jackie. Miss Jackie comes back and she's like, look, Bobby loves you. Straight like that. Bobby loves you and he don't really like nobody. He want me to hire you. And she like, and I want to hire you too. I end up getting a job right on the spot. Now, as he training me, he was kind of a tough cookie. He thought he knew everything. He was very bossy. So he messed my head up, right? He messed my head up. He was like, when your birthday? And I told him my birthday. And come to find out he was a Pisces. His birthday was days before mine. So I'm like, okay, I know what kind of personality I'm dealing with now. So some of the stuff I was sweeping under the rug. Second red flag. Now, we have been working together probably for like a good year. All right, now me and him was always arguing on the floor. Like when Miss Jackie went there, if he told me to work on the espresso bar and I didn't work on the espresso bar, especially when I had got power too and she made me a supervisor as well. If it was Bobby's shift, he wanted it his way. Especially when it came to me, he used to like to tick me off. And to the point I used to walk to the back and had to cool down. And he'd yell at me, grab my shirt. When he first smacked me, now let me tell you how that unfolded. I'm at work, we're working, boom. he kept saying after the rush, I'ma smack you. He like, because I'm telling you, you always got something to say back, and I ain't got time for you. He like, that's not that. You a mess in a dress. That's not that. So he kept calling me like mess in a dress and all this, like just name calling me. So I'm ignoring him like, cause I ain't worried about it. You ain't gonna smack me. So when he went to the back, when the line calmed down, he told me to come to the back with him. And I'm like, no, first off, why would I come back there with you? You go back there by yourself. I'm not finna do this. So he like, hello, it's my shift. I'm asking you to come back here. So I go back there where he at. So he like, why I always gotta have a problem with you? So he popping his neck, doing his hands like this. He getting real, you know what I'm saying? Real aggressive with me in the office. So I'm like, look, I'm not finna argue with you, Bobby. He like, I should have seen you home. So he called me a B. He called me a B. And I said, well, as I was walking, I said, what you say? He said, you heard me. And then he walked past me. He bumped me. So I'm like, okay, right? Now I'm heated. So I'm out there back on the rush, but I'm going slow now because I know people don't like to wait for their coffee. So I know that was making him even more mad. So he was like, you could go home straight like that. He sent me home. I'm like, fine. I go and I clock out. I go to the back and I grab my jacket. So he pushing me. He hitting me. So I straight up pushed him in the office, right? And I pushed him again. Or to let him know, to let him feel my strength. Like, hey, we ain't doing that. So I pushed him and he fell back in the chair and he wowed off. Wow, he smacked me. So I hurried up and I ran towards his face like this because he was in the chair. He was in the chair when he reached over and smacked me. We was in the office. I ran his head like boom right to the wall while he was still in the chair. Because he's pretty tall. So his head was like a little bit from the chair. Boom. So he grabbed me. We tussling. In this lady's office, knocking the paper down. Amelia comes back there. She like, y'all chill. Here come Juan and Anthony. That was the second red flag. Right? But I knew that I wasn't going to be cool with this cat no more. All right? That I was going to keep my distance. Because he was the type that liked to argue with me and wanted to be cool. And I just never rocked like that. Right? Especially coming out of what I came out of with my mom, of her beating on me. So, you know, for me, it wasn't a good mix. He was very much so of a high head. But when he was cool, he was cool. So time progressed. He started getting a little bit better with his attitude and stuff like that. But when this the third red flag. When I started talking to like customers, like flirting with customers and stuff like that, his whole persona, his whole attitude would change, right? His whole attitude would change towards me. And so one day, Amelia had made a joke like, what did Bobby like you? I'm like, what? I'm like, nah, he don't like me. She like, all he do was talk about you. She like, me and him went to go get our feet done and he was talking about you. I'm like, in a bad way? She like, a little bit of a bad way, but it seemed like he liked you. I'm like, nah, I don't think he like me. Now Amelia is a whole female. I don't be catching the signs when people like me if you ain't coming straight out and saying it, right? So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So Maria was like, Bobby, ooh. Like, because he had got mad and he had rolled his eyes when I got this girl a customer phone number. But Maria saw it. So Maria told me at the end of the shift, like, yeah, I think Bobby like you. Now, everybody is hip. But Bobby used to flirt with Juan and Anthony though. So I was like, nah, because to me, I always felt like 50-50. I didn't feel like a whole full, like at that moment in my skin, like, yeah, I'm the whole real package. And I really didn't feel like I was cute or I was fine or I was sexy or I was beautiful or I was gorgeous or I was top notch or, you know what I'm saying, I'm a poppy status. I just really thought like I was all right. I didn't think I was all that, like how girls or whatever people used to say, like, I'm fine. I never thought that, right? So, boom. The fourth red flag. This was the fourth red flag. All right. We're working, and we end up winning this, art for latte, right? I was going to go be a coffee master. So Miss Jackie was very happy that I won a challenge, the first challenge, right? So it was me and Amelia. So she wanted to treat the whole team. So she said, look, I'm going to give 4 hotel rooms. I'm going to pay for food, drinks, whatever y'all want. And she like, and then the next day we just go straight to work. Now, I was cool with that. I was like, all right, cool. So Miss Jackie like, look, I'm going to go book them all right now. So me and Juan and Anthony, we went on our break. Now Amelia, Maria, and Bobby, they still, you know, in the store covering us. So we out there in the alley, we chiefing. So Juan like, yo, we all, you know what I'm saying, we all should get lit, you know what I'm saying. Well, I'm like, yeah. So Juan like, I'm gonna bring, you know, he was gonna bring some Pacquiao, you know, that punch in the bag, that Zaza. All right, cool. So he was like, yo, he like, wait, if Miss Jackie only getting 4 rooms, that means somebody gonna have to stay with somebody, or 3 people gonna have to stay with somebody. So like everybody like just thinking, like everybody just like coming up like who all gonna be staying with somebody, right? So boom, Miss Jackie, she comes, she talk to us, she give everybody a key, right? She give everybody like a key card. So everybody got a key card. So immediately Miss Jackie was like, I got 4 rooms. She like, 1 for me, and then she like, you guys can figure out the rest, right? She like, but I'll take care of foods and drinks. So boom, Amelia was like, well, me and Maria, Amelia was like me and Maria, and then it was like another girl. So they was gonna have that room together. So of course Juan and Anthony, they was gonna have that room together, right? And so Miss Jackie was like, yeah, and it could be Bobby and Rose. So I was like, so everybody already suspected that, hey, you know, this dude likes me, right? But I'm not thinking nothing of it still. All right. The 5th red flag. We get to our room. The room is big, all right? Now, all our rooms is like one, then around the corner. Everybody is kind of like on the same strip, right? So I was like, man, I'm like, I want something to drink, right? So our room, everything was getting charged to the room. Everything was getting charged to the room.